Welcome to your one-stop solution for CompTIA A plus exam preparation. In this comprehensive video, we'll be diving deep into 50 practice questions that span across all 4 essential domains: operating systems, security, software troubleshooting, and operational procedures. Whether you're a seasoned IT professional or just starting out, this video will equip you with the knowledge and skills you need to ace this challenging exam. We'll start with a set of questions covering the operating systems domain, where you'll test your knowledge of Windows, Linux, macOS, and other essential operating system concepts. Then we'll move on to the security domain, where you'll explore critical security practices, threat mitigation strategies, and data protection techniques. Next, we'll tackle the software troubleshooting domain, where you'll gain the skills to diagnose and resolve common software issues, both on Windows and mobile devices. Finally, we'll wrap up with the operational procedures domain, where you'll master documentation, change management, backup recovery methods, and other essential IT practices. So buckle up, get ready to learn, and let's conquer the CompTIA A+ exam together. Let's get started with the first domain on operating systems. The first question is about a user who is unable to print from their laptop when connected to the company's wireless network. Which control panel utility should the technician use to troubleshoot this issue? A. Devices and printers. B. System, C. Windows Firewall. D. Network and Sharing Center. The correct choice is A. Devices and printers. This utility allows the user to manage and troubleshoot printers and other devices. B. System. This utility provides information about the computer system and its hardware. It's not specifically used for troubleshooting printer issues. C. Windows Firewall. This utility is used to manage firewall settings which protect the system from unauthorized access. It's not directly related to printer issues. D. Network and Sharing Center. This utility is used to manage and troubleshoot network connections. While it could potentially be related to a printer issue if the printer is networked, it's not the first place to check for a printing issue. To troubleshoot printing problems using the Devices and Printers utility, follow these steps. 1. Open the Devices and Printers utility. 2. Right-click on the printer that you're having problems with and select Troubleshoot. 3. Follow the instructions in the troubleshooting wizard. Question 2. A technician needs to boot a Windows 10 computer into safe mode. Which key should be held down during boot to access the safe mode menu? AF5, BF8, CF10, DF12. The correct choice is BF8. Pressing F8 during the boot process in Windows 10 will bring up the Advanced Boot Options menu, where you can select Safe Mode. A. F5. This key is typically used to refresh the current window in many applications, but it doesn't have a specific function during boot in Windows. C. F10. In some systems, this key can be used to access the BIOS setup utility during boot, but it's not used to access Safe Mode in Windows. DF12. This key is often used to access the boot menu on many systems, allowing you to select a different boot device, but it's not used to access Safe Mode in Windows. Question 3. A user is unable to connect a laptop to the guest wireless network. Which Windows utility should the technician use to view the wireless network name and password? A. Network and Sharing Center. B. ipconfig. C. Network connections. D. Internet options. The correct choice is A. Network and Sharing Center. B. ipconfig. This command line tool displays the current network configuration, but it doesn't show wireless network names or passwords. C. Network connections. This utility shows a list of all network connections, but it doesn't display network names or passwords. D. Internet options. This utility is used to adjust internet settings, not to view network names or passwords. To view the wireless network name and password using the Network and Sharing Center, follow these steps. 1. Open the Network and Sharing Center. 2. Click on the name of the guest wireless network that you want to view the password for. 3. Click on the wireless properties link. 4. Click on the security tab. 5. Check the Show Characters box to view the wireless network password. Question 4. A client needs an operating system recommendation for a PC with 512 GB of RAM installed. Which two Windows versions would support utilizing that much RAM? Select 2. A. Windows 10 Home, B. Windows 10 Pro, C. Windows 7 Pro, D. Windows 10 Enterprise. The two Windows versions that would support utilizing 512 GB of RAM are B. Windows 10 Pro and D. Windows 10 Enterprise. A. Windows 10 Home. This version of Windows only supports up to 128 GB of RAM, which is less than the 512 GB installed on the PC. C. Windows 7 Pro. This version of Windows only supports up to 192 GB of RAM, which is less than the 512 GB installed on the PC. Both Windows 10 Pro and Windows 10 Enterprise support up to 2 TB of RAM, which is more than enough for the 512 GB installed on the PC. Question 5. A user's Windows laptop fails to boot properly. Which troubleshooting mode allows the technician to access advanced startup options? A. Safe mode, B. Recovery mode, C. Emergency mode, D. Diagnostic mode. The correct choice is B. Recovery mode. This mode allows the technician to access advanced startup options to troubleshoot and repair the laptop. A. Safe mode. This mode starts Windows with a minimal set of drivers and services. While it can be useful for troubleshooting, it does not provide access to advanced startup options. C. Emergency mode. This is not a standard mode in Windows for accessing advanced startup options. D. Diagnostic mode. While this term can refer to a general approach to troubleshooting, it is not a specific mode in Windows for accessing advanced startup options. Question 6. A user is unable to connect a Windows laptop to a WPA2 PSK wireless network. Which command can help determine if there is an issue with the wireless network card? A. ipconfig/all, B. ping, C. tracert, D. netwlan show interfaces. The correct choice is D. netwlan show interfaces. This command displays information about the wireless network interfaces on the computer, which can help determine if there is an issue with the wireless network card. ipconfig/all displays all current TCP IP network configuration values. Ping is used to test the reachability of a host on an IP network, and tracert is used to determine the route taken by packets across an IP network. Question 7. A user's laptop running Windows 10 keeps crashing during boot up. Which advanced startup mode could help troubleshoot the cause? A. Safe mode, B. Debugging mode, C. Directory services restore mode, D. Disable automatic restart. The correct choice is A. Safe mode. Safe mode is an advanced startup mode in Windows 10 that loads a minimal set of drivers and services. By booting the laptop into safe mode, you can troubleshoot the cause of the crashes, as it starts with only essential components. This can help identify if a third-party driver or software is causing the issue. Debugging mode is typically used by developers for software debugging purposes. Directory services. Restore mode is used for restoring Active Directory on domain controllers. Disabling automatic restart can prevent the laptop from automatically restarting after a crash, but it does not directly help troubleshoot the cause of the crashes. Question 8. You've been tasked with setting up a new computer for a budget-conscious client who requires an operating system that is available as a free download with no evaluation period limitations. Which of the following operating systems would be the most suitable choice for this scenario? A. Windows, B. Ubuntu, C. macOS, D. iOS. The correct choice is B. Ubuntu. Ubuntu is a free and open source operating system based on Linux. It does not have any evaluation period limitations and can be downloaded and installed for free. While Windows and macOS are popular operating systems, they are not available as free downloads for unlimited use. iOS is the operating system for Apple's mobile devices and is not suitable for computer setup. Question 9. You're assisting a colleague who is experiencing technical issues with their Windows PC. They need to copy important information about their computer for troubleshooting and possibly send it to you for assistance. Which section within Windows settings should you instruct them to access for this purpose? A. System, About, B. Network and Internet, Ethernet, C. Ease of access, Narrator, D. Privacy, Diagnostics and Feedback. The correct choice is A. System, About. The About section under System in Windows settings provides important information about the computer, including details about the operating system, processor, installed RAM, device ID, product ID, and system type. This information can be very useful for troubleshooting technical issues. The other sections, Network and Internet, Ethernet, Ease of Access, Narrator and Privacy, Diagnostics and Feedback, contain different types of information that may not be as directly relevant for general troubleshooting purposes. Question 10. An information security audit requires a technician to provide evidence of OS patch levels on all desktops. Which tool can provide this information in Windows? A. Windows Update, B. msinfo32, C. dxdiag, D. WinVer. The correct choice is B. msinfo32. msinfo32 is a built-in Windows tool that provides detailed information about the system hardware, software, and configuration. It can be used to gather information about the operating system, including patch levels and installed updates. Windows Update, choice A, is the service that allows users to download and install updates from Microsoft, but it does not provide a comprehensive view of the patch levels on all desktops. dxdiag, choice C, is a tool used to diagnose and troubleshoot DirectX-related issues, and it does not provide information about OS patch levels. WinVer, choice D, is a command that displays the version of Windows running on a computer, but it does not provide information about patch levels. The first question is about a company policy that requires the use of drive encryption on all laptops. Which Windows feature should be enabled? A. BitLocker, B. EFS, C. Windows Defender, D. TPM. The correct choice is A. BitLocker. BitLocker is a full disk encryption feature included with Windows designed to protect data by providing encryption for entire volumes. B. EFS, encrypting file system. EFS is a feature of Windows that allows you to store information on your hard disk in an encrypted format. It's used for file level encryption, not full disk encryption. See Windows. Defender, Windows. Defender is an anti-malware component of Microsoft Windows. It's not used for drive encryption. D. TPM, Trusted Platform Module. TPM is a specialized chip on an endpoint device that stores RSA encryption keys specific to the host system for hardware authentication. While TPM is often used in conjunction with BitLocker for enhanced security, by itself, it's not a drive encryption feature. To enable BitLocker on a Windows laptop, follow these steps. 1. Open the control panel. 2. Click on System and Security. 3. Click on BitLocker Drive Encryption. 4. Click on Turn on BitLocker next to the drive that you want to encrypt. 5. Follow the instructions in the BitLocker Setup wizard. Once BitLocker is enabled, the drive will be encrypted and protected from unauthorized access. Question 2. You are an IT administrator responsible for managing a network of Windows 10 computers in your organization. Your task is to ensure that firewalls, anti-malware settings, and various security configurations are consistently applied across all devices. Which feature of Windows 10 should you utilize to achieve this centralized management? A. Active Directory. B. Group Policy. C. Windows Subsystem for Linux. D. Assigned Access. The correct choice is B. Group Policy. Group Policy is a feature of Windows 10 that allows centralized management and configuration of Windows settings across multiple computers in an Active Directory domain. It enables IT administrators to enforce security configurations, including firewalls, anti-malware settings, and various other security settings, consistently across all devices. A. Active Directory. Active Directory is a directory service provided by Microsoft for Windows domain networks. While it is closely related to Group Policy and is often used in conjunction with it, Active Directory itself is not the feature used for centralized management of security configurations. C. Windows Subsystem for Linux. The Windows Subsystem for Linux allows running Linux distributions on Windows 10, but it is not specifically designed for centralized management of security configurations. D. Assigned Access. Assigned access is a feature in Windows 10 that allows restricting a user account to a single application, providing a kiosk-like experience. It is not used for centralized management of security configurations. Question 3. An endpoint protection tool alerts that a Windows 10 workstation has a Trojan infection. Which mitigation step should be performed first? A. Disconnect workstation from network. B. Run antivirus scan. C. Restore from backup. D. Reinstall OS. The correct choice is A. Disconnect workstation from network. This is the first step to prevent the potential spread of the Trojan to other systems on the network. B. Run antivirus scan. This is an important step to identify and remove the Trojan, but it should be done after the workstation is disconnected from the network to prevent further spread of the infection. C. Restore from backup. This can be a solution if the infection cannot be removed, but it should only be done after the workstation is disconnected from the network and the infection is confirmed. D. Reinstall OS. This is a last resort if the infection cannot be removed, or if the system files have been significantly damaged. It should only be done after all other options have been exhausted. Question 4. A technician needs to enable remote desktop on a Windows 10 Pro laptop. Which control panel utility allows enabling remote desktop? A. Credential Manager. B. System. C. Remote Desktop. D. Windows Firewall. The correct choice is B, System. The remote desktop feature can be enabled in the System utility of the control panel in Windows 10 Pro. A, Credential. Manager. This utility is used to manage stored credentials, not to enable remote desktop. C, Remote Desktop. While this is the name of the feature, there is no control panel utility with this name to enable it. D, Windows. Firewall. This utility is used to manage firewall settings, not to enable remote desktop. To enable remote desktop using System, 1. Open Control Panel. 2. Click on System. 3. Click on Remote Desktop. 4. Under Remote Desktop, select the Allow Remote Connections to this computer checkbox. 5. Click Apply, then click OK. Question 5. You've been tasked with setting up encryption for a Windows computer. You're required to encrypt several shared folders within a partition so that other users can't read them. What tool should you use? A. BitLocker. B. EFS. C. Administrative Share. D. TPM. The correct choice is B. EFS, Encrypting File System. This tool is specifically designed for encrypting files and folders on a Windows system, making it the ideal choice for your task. BitLocker, on the other hand, is used for full disk encryption, while TPM is a hardware module for security tasks, and Administrative Share is not an encryption tool. To encrypt a shared folder using EFS, follow these steps. 1. Right-click the shared folder and select Properties. 2. Click the Advanced button. 3. Select the Encrypt Contents to Secure Data checkbox. 4. Click Apply and then OK. Once you have encrypted the shared folder, only users who have your user account credentials will be able to access the files and folders within it. Question 6. In which computing environment is a technician operating after completing a scripting task and saving the script as an sh file? A. PowerShell. B. Linux. C. JavaScript. D. Python. E. Batch file. The correct choice is B. Linux. Saving a script as an sh file is a common practice in Linux environments. The .sh file extension is typically used for shell scripts, which are commonly used in Linux and Unix-like operating systems. PowerShell is primarily used in Windows environments. JavaScript is used for web development. Python is a general-purpose programming language, and batch files are used in Windows environments for scripting tasks. Question 7. A user reports being unable to connect to websites or access file shares on their Windows 10 laptop after connecting to a new wireless router. What is a likely cause? A. Wrong DNS server. B. Missing proxy server settings. C. Duplicate IP address. D. Incorrect SSID. The correct choice is A. Wrong DNS server. If the user is unable to connect to websites or access file shares on their Windows 10 laptop after connecting to a new wireless router, it is likely due to incorrect or improperly configured DNS server settings. The DNS server is responsible for resolving domain names to IP addresses, and if the settings are wrong, it can prevent the user from accessing websites or file shares. Missing proxy server settings, duplicate IP address, or incorrect SSID network name would not directly cause the described issue. Question 8. An application requires the PHP interpreter to function properly on a Linux server. What is commonly used to install PHP? A. pip, B. pexl, C. apt, D. rpm. The correct choice is C. apt. On a Linux server, the commonly used package manager for installing PHP is apt. apt is the package management system used by Debian-based Linux distributions, such as Ubuntu. It allows users to easily install, update, and manage software packages, including PHP. Pip is a package installer for Python, pexl is a repository for PHP extensions, and RPM is a package manager used by Red Hat-based Linux distributions. Question 9. As the security administrator for your organization, you've recently detected a malware incident. In this scenario, what would be your initial course of action? A. Implement containment measures. B. Begin the removal process. C. Initiate the recovery process. D. Commence monitoring for further activity. The correct choice is A. Implement containment measures. As the security administrator for your organization, in the event of a malware incident, your initial course of action should be to implement containment measures. This involves isolating the affected systems or network segments to prevent the malware from spreading further. By disconnecting affected devices from the network, disabling compromised user accounts, or blocking communication channels used by the malware, you can limit the impact and prevent additional damage. Once containment measures are in place, you can proceed with the removal process, initiate the recovery process, and commence monitoring for further activity. However, implementing containment measures is the crucial first step to mitigate the risk and prevent the malware from causing more harm. Question 10. An endpoint protection tool detects a compromised Windows machine attempting to reach out to a known malicious domain. What mitigation technique should be used first? A. Reinstall OS from image. B. Restore files from backup. C. Isolate system from network. D. Run scan using updated definitions. The correct choice is C. Isolate system from network. When a compromised machine is detected, the first mitigation technique should be to isolate the system from the network. This prevents the malware from spreading to other systems and stops any ongoing data exfiltration to the malicious domain. After the system is isolated, further steps such as running a scan using updated definitions, restoring files from backup, or reinstalling the OS from an image can be taken based on the severity and nature of the compromise. Question 11. You're configuring the power management settings on a Windows computer. Your goal is to ensure that important data is preserved while the computer is in a low power state. Which power management mode should you choose to achieve this? A. Sleep. B. Hibernate. C. Standby. D. Pillow.x. The correct choice is B. Hibernate. Hibernate is the power management mode that allows the computer to save all open documents and running programs to the hard drive and then power off. When the computer is turned back on, it resumes from where it left off, preserving all the important data. Sleep mode, choice A, is a low power state where the computer is still on but uses minimal power. Standby, choice C, is an older term used for a similar low power state. pillow.exe, choice D, is not a valid power management mode and does not exist. Question 12. You're responsible for monitoring security events on a Windows server. To track auditing information effectively, which log file within the event viewer should you focus on? A. System. B. Application. C. Local users and groups. D. Security. The correct choice is D. Security. To track auditing information effectively on a Windows server, you should focus on the security log file within the event viewer. The security log records events related to security, such as successful or failed logon attempts, changes to user accounts or group memberships, and other security-related activities. The system log, choice A, contains events related to the operating system and hardware. The application log, choice B, contains events related to applications, and the local users and groups, choice C, is a management console for managing user accounts and groups, but it does not provide auditing information. Question 13. You are configuring network settings on a Windows 10 laptop. You frequently connect to different networks, and sometimes you're not sure about the trustworthiness of the devices on the network. Which network location profile setting is most appropriate for this situation? A. Private. B. VPN. C. Metered connection. D. Public. The correct choice is D. Public. In this situation, where you frequently connect to different networks and are unsure about the trustworthiness of the devices on the network, the most appropriate network location profile setting is public. When you connect to a network marked as public, Windows applies more restrictive settings to help protect your computer. This includes disabling network discovery, file and printer sharing, and other features that could potentially expose your computer to security risks. It is a safer option when connecting to unfamiliar or untrusted networks. The other options, private VPN and metered connection, are not specifically designed for this situation. Private is typically used for trusted networks. VPN is a method of connecting securely to a private network over the internet, and metered connection is used to limit data usage on networks with limited or expensive data plans. Question 1. A user reports their Linux workstation is suddenly running slowly. Which command can help the technician identify the process using the most CPU resources? A top, B ps, C sudo, D proc or CPU info? The correct choice is A top. The top command in Linux provides a dynamic real-time view of the running system and displays information about system summary information and a list of processes currently being managed by the Linux kernel. It can help identify the process using the most CPU resources. BPS. The PS command in Linux is used to display information about the currently running processes, including their process identification numbers, PIDs. It's not specifically used to identify the process using the most CPU resources. csudo, the sudo command in Linux, is used to run programs with the security privileges of another user, by default, the superuser. It's not used to identify the process using the most CPU resources. dproc or CPU info. This is a file, not a command. It contains information about the CPU, such as its type, make, model, and performance. It doesn't provide information about the current CPU usage of individual processes. Question 2. A user needs to permanently remove an application from their Mac computer. Which utility can help thoroughly uninstall the application? A. Finder, B. App Store, C. Disk Utility, D. Terminal. The correct answer is D. Terminal. A. Finder can be used to uninstall applications, but it does not remove all of the application's files. B. The App Store can be used to uninstall applications that were downloaded from the App Store, but it cannot be used to uninstall applications that were installed from other sources. C. Disk Utility cannot be used to uninstall applications. To uninstall an application using the terminal, follow these steps. 1. Open the terminal. 2. Navigate to the applications folder. 3. Type the following command. 4. Sudo rm rf, application name. 4. Press enter. 5. Enter your password when prompted. The application will be uninstalled completely. Question 3. A user's desktop running Windows 10 is experiencing repeated application crashes. Which control panel utility can help identify possible driver or hardware issues? A. System, B. Devices and printers, C. Programs and features, D. Device manager. The correct choice is D. Device manager. This control panel utility allows you to view and manage hardware devices and their drivers. By checking Device Manager, you can identify any problematic drivers or hardware devices that may be causing the repeated application crashes. A. System. This control panel utility provides information about the computer's hardware, operating system, and system properties, but it does not specifically help identify possible driver or hardware issues. B. Devices and printers. This control panel utility allows you to view and manage connected devices and printers, but it does not specifically help identify possible driver or hardware issues. C. Programs and features. This control panel utility allows you to view and uninstall installed programs, but it does not specifically help identify possible driver or hardware issues. To identify possible driver or hardware issues using Device Manager, follow these steps. 1. Open Device Manager. 2. Expand the category for the device that you are experiencing problems with. 3. Right-click on the device and select Properties. 4. Click on the Driver tab. 5. Look for any errors or warnings in the driver status section. If you see any errors or warnings, you can try to update the driver or reinstall the device. Question 4. An application requires installation of a dependency in a Linux server. Which package manager command will install the required dependency? A. Zipper in, B. DNF install, C. apt get install, D. yum local install. The correct choice is C. apt get install. This command is used by the apt package manager in Debian and Ubuntu distributions, and it is commonly used to install packages and their dependencies. A. Zipper in. This command is used by the Zipper package manager in OpenSUSE and SUSE Linux distributions, not in a general Linux server. B. DNF install. This command is used by the DNF package manager in Fedora and CentOS RHEL 8+ distributions, not in a general Linux server. D. yum local install. This command is used by the Yum package manager in CentOS Arch 7 and earlier distributions, not in a general Linux server. To install a dependency using apt-get, you can use the following command: apt-get install dependency name. This will install the dependency and any other required dependencies. Question 5. You are a system administrator managing a Windows server in an enterprise environment. Your task is to retrieve information about the local users on this server for security auditing purposes. Which Windows PowerShell command should you use to obtain this information? A. Get local user. B. Get adducer. C. Get user. D. Get child item. The correct choice is A. Get local user. This PowerShell command retrieves information about local user accounts on a computer. B. Get adducer. This command is used to get information about user accounts in Active Directory, not local user accounts. C. Get user. This command is used in Exchange server environments to get information about mail users, not local user accounts. D. Get child item. This command is used to get items like files and directories in a specified location, not to get information about local user accounts. Question 6. A company is rolling out new Windows Server computers. What utility can help quickly set up identical configurations on the new servers? A. Diskpart. B. Windows ADK. C. Windows Server Update Services. D. Windows Deployment Services. The correct choice is D. Windows Deployment Services. Windows Deployment Services, WDS, is a utility that can help quickly set up identical configurations on new Windows Server computers. WDS allows administrators to create and manage images of Windows Server systems, which can then be deployed to multiple machines over the network. This enables the rapid deployment of standardized configurations to new servers, saving time and ensuring consistency. Diskpart is a command line utility for managing disks and partitions. Windows ADK, Assessment and Deployment Kit, is a collection of tools for customizing, assessing, and deploying Windows operating systems. And Windows Server Update Services, WSUS, is a tool for managing the distribution of updates released through Microsoft Update to computers in a corporate environment. Question 7. You're working on a Mac computer and you need to grant access to another user on a separate Mac. Which option should you enable to allow them to take control of your computer? A. Remote desktop. B. Remote assistance. C. Screen sharing. D. Screen mirroring. The correct choice is C. Screen sharing. On a Mac computer, the screen sharing feature allows another user to view or control your screen. This can be useful when you need to share your screen for collaborative work or for troubleshooting purposes. Remote desktop and remote assistance are terms more commonly associated with Windows systems, and screen mirroring is a feature that allows you to display your device's screen on another device, such as a TV, but it doesn't provide control to another user. Question 8. A user's computer running Windows. 10. Reboots into recovery mode after a forced shutdown. Which recovery option could help resolve the problem? A. Startup repair. B. Windows Complete PC Restore. C. System Restore. D. Windows Refresh. The correct choice is A, Startup Repair. Startup Repair is a recovery tool in Windows 10 that can fix certain system problems that might prevent the computer from starting. It scans your computer for the problem and then tries to fix it so your computer can start correctly. Windows, Complete PC. Restore is a feature from Windows Vista and does not exist in Windows 10. System Restore can revert system files and settings to a previous state, but it doesn't necessarily fix startup issues. Windows Refresh, now known as Reset This PC, can reinstall Windows, but might be a more drastic step than necessary if a startup repair can fix the issue. Question 9. A technician needs to enable the Telnet client feature on a Windows 10 enterprise machine. How can this be accomplished? A. Turn on via Control Panel. B. Enable via Programs and Features. C. Install feature using DISM. D. Modify using GPEDT-DEMSC. The correct choice is C. Install feature using DISM. The Deployment Image Servicing and Management DISM tool is a command line tool that can be used to service and prepare Windows images, including those used for Windows PE, Windows Recovery Environment, Windows RE, and Windows Setup. DISM can be used to enable or disable Windows features such as the Telnet client, while the Telnet client can also be turned on via the Control Panel or enabled via Programs and Features. Using DISM is a more direct method, especially for a technician. Modifying using GPEDT-MSC, Group Policy Editor, would not directly enable the Telnet client feature. The first question is about a Windows 7 desktop having driver issues with a new USB 3.0 expansion card. Which control panel utility should the technician use to troubleshoot this? A. Devices and printers. B. Device Manager. C. System. D. Windows Update. The correct choice is B. Device Manager. The Device Manager utility in Windows allows the technician to view and manage the hardware devices installed on the computer. It can be used to troubleshoot driver issues, including the USB 3.0 expansion card. A. Devices and printers. This utility allows the user to manage and troubleshoot printers and other devices. It's not specifically used for troubleshooting driver issues. C. System. The System utility provides information about the computer system and its hardware. It's not directly used for troubleshooting driver issues. D. Windows Update. While updating Windows can sometimes resolve driver issues by installing the latest drivers, it's not the first place to check for troubleshooting driver issues. Device Manager is a more appropriate tool for this task. To troubleshoot driver issues using Device Manager, follow these steps. 1. Open Device Manager. 2. Expand the Universal Serial Bus Controllers category. 3. Right-click on the USB 3.0 expansion card and select Update Driver Software. 4. Click on Search automatically for updated driver software. 5. Windows will search for and install the latest driver software for the USB 3.0 expansion card. If Windows is unable to find and install the latest driver software, you can try downloading the driver software from the manufacturer's website. Question 2. A Linux system administrator needs to find all files owned by the user gsmith in the /home directory. Which command could the administrator use to generate a list of these files? A. ls l/home/gsmith. B. find/home user jsmith. C. grep gsmith/home/*. D. cat/home/jsmith. The correct choice is B. find/home user gsmith. The find command in Linux is used to search for files and directories based on various criteria. In this case, the user option is used to specify the owner of the files, and jsmith is provided as the username. This command will search the /home directory and its subdirectories for files owned by the user jsmith and generate a list of these files. lsl/home/jsmith. This command will list the files and directories in the /home/jsmith directory, but it will not search for files owned by jsmith in the entire /home directory. C grep jsmith/home/*. This command will search for the string jsmith in the contents of files in the /home directory, but it will not specifically search for files owned by jsmith. D cat/home/jsmith. This command will display the contents of the /home/jsmith file, but it will not generate a list of files owned by jsmith in the /home directory. Question 3. You have a backup system that does a full backup on Monday and incremental backups on Tuesday, Friday. How many backup tapes do you need to restore the entire system if the storage drive fails on Saturday morning? A1, B2, C4, D5. The correct choice is D5. To restore the entire system, you would need the full backup from Monday and the incremental backups from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's a total of 5 backup tapes. Question 4. A Linux user needs to schedule a recurring task to run on the second day of each month. Which command will allow this? A. Anacron, B. crontab, C. @d shed. The correct choice is B. crontab. Crontab is a utility that allows users to schedule jobs to run periodically on a Linux system. Cron jobs can be scheduled to run on a specific time of day, on specific days of the week, or on specific days of the month. To schedule a recurring task to run on the second day of each month, you can use the following crontab entry: 002**/path/to/script. This will schedule the script to run at 12 o'clock midnight on the second day of each month. Anacron is a utility that allows users to schedule jobs to run periodically on a Linux system, even if the system is not booted up at the scheduled time. It is not commonly used to schedule recurring tasks on a specific day of the month. @ is a utility that allows users to schedule jobs to run at a specific time in the future. It is not typically used to schedule recurring tasks. Sched is a command that is used to start and stop scheduled tasks. It is not used to schedule tasks. Question 5. A company requires that all desktop, laptop, and server operating systems must be running up-to-date antivirus software. Which method should be used to enforce this policy? A. Configure a GPO. B. Enable Windows Defender. C. Deploy with SCCM. D. Purchase EDR. The correct answer is A. Configure a GPO. Group policy is a feature of Windows that allows administrators to centrally manage and configure settings for Windows computers in a domain. Group policy can be used to enforce a variety of security policies, including the requirement to run up-to-date antivirus software. B. Enable Windows Defender will enable Windows Defender, but it will not enforce the requirement to run up-to-date antivirus software. Windows Defender can be disabled by users, so it is not a reliable way to enforce this policy. C. Deploy with SCCM will deploy the antivirus software to the computers, but it will not enforce the requirement to run the software. SCCM can be used to enforce other policies, but it is not designed to enforce the requirement to run antivirus software. D. Purchase EDR will give you a tool to detect and respond to threats, but it will not enforce the requirement to run antivirus software. EDR is a more advanced security tool than antivirus software, but it is not a replacement for antivirus software. Question 6. A user's laptop running Windows 10 is unable to connect to the corporate wireless network. Which troubleshooting utility can the technician use to determine if there are any issues with the wireless network adapter? A. Device Manager, B. ipconfig, C. Network and Sharing Center, D. Task Manager. The correct choice is A. Device Manager. This utility allows the technician to view and manage hardware devices and their drivers by checking the status of the wireless network adapter in Device Manager. The technician can determine if there are any issues with the adapter, such as driver problems or hardware conflicts. B. ipconfig. This command line tool displays the current network configuration, but it doesn't specifically troubleshoot hardware issues with the wireless network adapter. C. Network and Sharing Center. This utility provides information about network connections and can help diagnose network-related issues, but it doesn't specifically focus on troubleshooting the wireless network adapter. D. Task Manager. This utility shows system resource usage and running processes, but it doesn't provide information or troubleshooting options specifically for the wireless network adapter. To troubleshoot problems with the wireless network adapter using Device Manager, follow these steps. 1. Open Device Manager. 2. Expand the network adapters category. 3. Right-click on the wireless network adapter and select Troubleshoot Device. 4. Follow the instructions in the Device Troubleshooter. The Device Troubleshooter will try to identify and fix any problems with the wireless network adapter. If the Device Troubleshooter is unable to fix the problem, you can try other troubleshooting steps, such as updating the wireless network adapter driver or reinstalling the wireless network adapter. Question 7. A Linux system administrator needs to view details about the file system on a server. Which command will provide this information? A. fdisk, B. dfc do dblokid. The correct choice is BDF. This command displays information about the file system, including disk space usage, available space, and mount points. A. fdisk. This command is used for disk partitioning, not for viewing details about the file system. See do. This command is used to estimate file and directory space usage, but it doesn't provide overall file system details. Dblokid. This command is used to display information about block devices such as UUIDs and file system types, but it doesn't provide comprehensive file system details. Question 8. Company policy requires full system image backups every 2 weeks. Which backup type should be used? A. Incremental, B. Differential, C. Disk image, D. Full. The correct choice is D. Full. This backup type creates a complete backup of all selected files and folders, including the operating system and system settings. It meets the requirement of full system image backups every 2 weeks. A. Incremental. This backup type only backs up the changes made since the last backup, which would not meet the requirement of full system image backups every 2 weeks. B. Differential. This backup type backs up the changes made since the last full backup, which would not meet the requirement of full system image backups every 2 weeks. C. Disk image. This backup type creates a complete image of the entire disk or partition, which would meet the requirement of full system image backups every 2 weeks. However, the more common term for this backup type is full backup. Question 9. A company has recently upgraded all employee computers to Windows 10. The IT administrator needs to create new user accounts for new employees and modify settings for existing users. Which Windows 10 control panel utility should the administrator use to manage user accounts? A. Credential Manager, B. User Accounts, C. System, D. Devices and Printers. The correct choice is B. User Accounts. This control panel utility is specifically designed for managing user accounts in Windows. The IT administrator can use this tool to modify employee settings, including permissions, desktop environments, and resetting passwords. A. Credential Manager. This control panel utility is used to manage stored credentials, such as usernames and passwords for websites, applications, and networks. It does not provide the functionality to modify employee settings like permissions, desktop environments, or reset passwords. C. System. This control panel utility provides information about the computer's hardware, operating system, and system properties. It does not have the functionality to manage employee settings. D. Devices and printers. This control panel utility allows you to view and manage connected devices and printers. It does not provide the functionality to manage employee settings. Question 10. A desktop computer suddenly lost power and will not turn on. After testing components, the technician determines the power supply has failed. What is the best course of action to restore operation of the desktop computer? A. Attempt to repair the original power supply. B. Replace the failed power supply with a new unit. C. Use a different computer while waiting for the power supply to be repaired. D. Adjust voltage switches on the power supply to a different setting. The best course of action to restore operation of the desktop computer is B. Replace the failed power supply with a new unit. By replacing the failed power supply with a new one, you can ensure that the computer receives the necessary power to operate properly. A. Attempt to repair the original power supply. Repairing a power supply can be complex and potentially dangerous, especially if you are not experienced with electronics. It is generally more efficient and cost-effective to replace the failed power supply with a new one. C. Use a different computer while waiting for the power supply to be repaired. While this is a possible temporary solution, it may not be convenient or practical for all users. It is best to replace the power supply to restore the operation of the desktop computer. D. Adjust voltage switches on the power supply to a different setting. This is not recommended unless you are certain that the voltage setting is incorrect for your specific power supply and electrical system. Adjusting the voltage switches without proper knowledge can cause further damage to the computer or pose a safety risk. Question 11. A systems administrator is creating a PowerShell script to automate some server management tasks. While writing the script, the administrator needs to temporarily comment out some commands to test different logic flows. Which character should be used in PowerShell scripts to mark a line as a comment? A. $, B. hash, C. // D. parentheses. The correct choice is B. hash. In PowerShell scripts, the hash character is used to mark a line as a comment. A. $. This character is used in PowerShell to denote a variable, not to mark a line as a comment. C. // These characters are used to mark a line as a comment in some programming languages like JavaScript and C++, but not in PowerShell. D. parentheses. These characters are used in programming to enclose parameters or to prioritize operations, not to mark a line as a comment. Question 12. A help desk technician needs to access a user's Windows computer to enter a license key for newly installed software. The user is unable to input the key themselves. Which tool should the technician use to connect to the user's system and enter the license key? A. SSH, B. FTP, C. RDP, D. rsync. The correct choice is CRDP, Remote Desktop Protocol. This tool allows the technician to remotely access the user's Windows computer and interact with it as if they were sitting in front of it, making it ideal for entering a license key. A. SSH. Secure Shell is primarily used for remote command line, shell, or terminal access, not for graphical desktop access. B. FTP. File Transfer Protocol is used for transferring files between systems, not for remote desktop access. D. rsync. This is a utility for efficiently transferring and synchronizing files across computer systems, not for remote desktop access. Question 13. A technician needs to migrate data from an old Windows 7 computer to a new Windows 10 computer. Which utility can help migrate files and settings? A. DiskPart. B. System File Checker. C. Easy Transfer. D. Windows Easy Reinstall. The correct choice is C. Easy Transfer. Windows Easy Transfer is a utility provided by Microsoft to help users easily migrate files and settings from an old Windows computer to a new one. DiskPart is a utility that is used to manage disk partitions. It cannot be used to migrate files and settings. System File Checker is a utility that is used to scan for and repair corrupted system files. It cannot be used to migrate files and settings. Windows Easy Reinstall is a utility that is used to reinstall Windows without losing your files and settings. It does not support migrating files and settings to a new computer. Question 14. A company is rolling out Linux workstations with 2 monitors for each user. What technology enables using both monitors as a single desktop? A. Zynorama, B. Wayland, C. Mir, D. NX. The correct choice is A. Zynorama. Zynorama is a display extension technology that allows multiple monitors to be concatenated into a single virtual desktop. This means that the user can move windows across all monitors without having to switch between them. Zynorama is supported by all major Linux desktop environments, such as GNOME, KDE Plasma, and XFCE. To enable Zynorama, you need to configure your X server to use it. Wayland is a display server protocol that is designed to be more efficient and secure than X11. It does not support Zynorama. Mir is a display server protocol that is used by Ubuntu Touch. It does not support Zynorama. NX is a remote desktop protocol that allows you to control a remote computer over a network. It is not a display extension technology. Question 15. A technician needs to identify which edition of Windows is running on a computer. Which command line utility should the technician use to determine the specific Windows edition? A. Pathping, B. WinVer, C. CLS, D. Hostname. The correct choice is B. WinVer. The WinVer command, when run in the command line, opens a window that displays the version of Windows that is currently running on the computer. Pathping is a network diagnostic tool. CLS is used to clear the command prompt screen. And hostname displays the name of the current host. To run the WinVer command, open a command prompt window and type WinVer. Then press Enter. Question 16. An employee working remotely from home is unable to access files on the office network. What is the most likely reason the remote user cannot view the network files? A. Antivirus is out of date. B. VPN connection is not active. C. Mobile device policies are blocking access. D. Malicious software compromised the device. The correct choice is B. VPN connection is not active. When working remotely, accessing files on the office network typically requires establishing a secure connection through a VPN, virtual private network. If the VPN connection is not active or properly configured, the remote user will not be able to access the network files. Antivirus being out of date, mobile device policies blocking access, or malicious software compromising the device could potentially cause issues. but they are less likely to be the primary reason for the inability to view network files in this scenario. Question 17. You are responsible for maintaining the security of Windows computers within your organization. In this context, when can a Windows computer be considered fully secure? A. After upgrading to the most recent version. B. Once you've reinforced the local security policy. C. Upon the release of Microsoft's latest update. D. It's a status never achieved. The correct choice is D. It's a status never achieved. In the context of computer security, a Windows computer, or any computer for that matter, can never be considered fully secure. Security is a continuous process, not a state. New vulnerabilities and threats emerge constantly, and even the most secure systems need regular updates, patches, and monitoring to maintain their security. While upgrading to the most recent version, reinforcing the local security policy, and installing the latest updates from Microsoft can all enhance the security of a Windows computer. None of these actions can guarantee full security. Question 18. Your expanding company now requires an improved method for remotely overseeing a wide range of client systems, servers, and networks. Which monitoring solution would be the most suitable choice? A. RMM, B. RDC, C. MSTC, D. Remote Assistance. The correct choice is A. RMM, Remote Monitoring and Management. RMM, Remote Monitoring and Management, is a comprehensive solution that allows for remote oversight and management of client systems, servers, and networks. It provides a centralized platform for monitoring and managing various aspects of IT infrastructure, including system health, performance, security, and software updates. RMM solutions often include features such as remote access, patch management, antivirus management, backup monitoring, and reporting. RDC, Remote Desktop Connection, and MSTSC, Microsoft Terminal Services Client, are tools used for remote desktop access, which allows users to connect to and control a remote computer. While remote desktop access can be useful for certain tasks, it does not provide the same level of comprehensive monitoring and management capabilities as an RMM solution. Remote assistance is a feature in Windows that allows users to request and provide remote technical support. It is more focused on providing assistance and troubleshooting rather than continuous monitoring and management. Therefore, for the requirement of remotely overseeing a wide range of client systems, servers, and networks, an RMM solution would be the most suitable choice. That's a wrap on our CompTIA A plus Core 22011-02 practice question marathon. We've covered a vast spectrum of topics, from operating system fundamentals to security best practices and beyond. Remember, practice makes perfect, so utilize these practice questions to identify your strengths and areas for improvement. With dedication and perseverance, you'll be well on your way to achieving your CompTIA A+ certification. Thank you for watching, and best of luck in your CompTIA journey.